Yes, yes, yes. What's happening, my people, man? Back again with another live stream. It's been a while, people. It's been a while. And I do have to just apologize to say, yeah, me and Dan haven't been online. We haven't been live. Been some things going on in the background. Obviously, what's it called? Family life. World Cup's been on. Holidays. Dan's got another little one on the way. You know what I mean? Third one's about to drop. So yeah, lots been going on, but we're back. Season's heating up soon back. So yeah, Mondays will be here. We're gonna do a few new shows as well. Special guests coming on. I think he's just entered the studio now. As you lot know, man, Dan is a black man. He's always late. Do you understand? That's why we're on at this time. We've been sitting there since 8:30. But yeah, the white man, but he's a black man. His hair now. I can see him somewhere. There he is.
Dan. Firstly, yes, Nev, yes, Jez, yes, Dan. I said 9 o'clock. You wanted to do 8:30, so I'm actually 10 minutes early.
Oh, there you go. There you go. What's going on, Dan, man?
You say
You're grinding the beard, my friend.
Yeah, bro.
My
what's good, people, man? It's good to be back. This is our first stream in 2 months since obviously the climax of the season, Arsenal winning the Premier League. It's good to see some familiar faces again. It's good to stream. It's good to have people in the chat. Yeah, man. How you guys feeling? I think the only place we can start is Vini Jr. And I'll go to Jez first on that. What's your thoughts on the whole? Is it a smoke screen? Is it just for him to get another contract at Real Madrid, or is there a chance that Arsenal might actually get Vinicius Jr. in at the Emirates?
Well, I just said this, Dan, and congratulations to you and your wife on your new incoming little one.
Appreciate that, mate. Thank you.
Firstly, mate, I think it's a smoke screen. I think he's just trying it out with Real Madrid to get a better contract. Much as I'd love to see him at Arsenal, and I can't see it. I just cannot see it. Yes, we paid an exorbitant amount of money a week for Ozil. Would we spend a 400,000 a week to get Vini? I don't know. I'm not convinced personally. Knowing how Arsenal work in the transfer window, I think it's all pipe dreams, to be honest. We've been down this road before. So I can't see it, mate, to be honest.
So, Jez, do you not feel like he might want to move as well with all the issues he's had at Real Madrid? I know there's been a lot of abuse that he's taken over the years at Real Madrid as well. And just for sort of a fresh start as well, do you not think in the back of his mind he might be thinking, you know what, it's time to move on? The fact that he hasn't signed a contract and he's playing hardball, is there not just a little bit of glimmer of hope for Arsenal, Jez?
Well, there is that possibility. Of course, absolutely. Of course, there's that possibility. The stumbling block, as I see it, guys, is would Arsenal pay that sort of money a week? Would they be prepared to do that? I'm not convinced. We know that Arsenal have got shed loads of money, but they're tight asses. Would Burton be able
do you not think that's changed in the last year since since obviously Berta's come in and Arsenal have obviously got themselves in such a, since Arteta's come in, financially how well the club is run now. Do you not think that's kind of gone out the window now? And now could be the time to go. Listen, I look at it right, and I see Saka on 300. I see Kai Havertz on 280, Jesus on 250. As Dan, I think Dan mentioned earlier in the show, I had it on as I was getting myself together. Ozil was paid 350 grand a week. Now, listen, obviously, some will say that worked to a certain extent. In the end, it didn't work. We had to rip up his contract, of course. But for me, I think that there's a chance that he could come to Arsenal. I do think Arsenal would pay the wages because I think if Saka's on 300, I don't see it being a massive issue to go and give him 400 personally. I don't think the money is a problem. I think the only issue is whether he wants to come and how much would Arsenal be willing to spend? Because if they're going to want 100 million, is it worth paying 100 million for a player with 1 year left on his contract, as good as he is? And I'm not sure if Arsenal would see that as good business. But if you could get him for 70 or 80 million, I think that would be fair. And Dan mentioned obviously the whole racism incident that included Jose Mourinho, who came out and almost said that he sort of antagonizes players, fans, or other players to sometimes almost be racist. Let's not dress it up. He kind of said something, not in those exact words, but I mean, I could see them two clashing and not really getting on. And they've just signed that Diamande, so is he going to play every game? I don't know. I just think he comes to Arsenal, he's the main man. He's never going to be the main man at Real Madrid with Mbappe. We saw it
100%
happen
not.
when Messi was at Barcelona. Neymar had to leave. Sanchez, Alexis Sanchez, who I thought we had no chance of getting, and we got Sanchez, and we all know how good he is. So if we do get him, I think it'd be the biggest signing probably in Premier League history if we were to sign him. If you ask me, do I think it will happen? I think no, because I think Real Madrid will give him what he wants. I'd imagine Mbappe is the top earner there. I think he's probably going to say, listen, I want the same as him. And I think Real Madrid, whether Jose Mourinho wants him or not, they don't care because Vini Jr. is going to be there for the future. Jose could be there for 6 months. Managers
Yeah,
come
and
and
he's
go.
only, I can't believe he's only 26,
Yeah, look, I mean, it would be the
Saka's been around for a lifetime. It's
to go from
crazy.
Trossard to Martinelli. If you could get Vinicius Jr., I mean, that's what Arsenal need to do now. You look at that Champions League final, right? The reason why PSG could have us camped in our own box when we were 1-0 up is because we had no outlet on the wings. Like no real raw pace. No one who's, I remember watching Real Madrid play Man City, and Man City be all over them, and then boom, one counter, Vinicius Jr. goal. And I think if we could get him in them big tight Champions League matches, wow, it would be special. But listen, Arsenal surprise us. We all talk about Arsenal not spending enough money over the years, but they do it sometimes. They've done it with Ozil, they surprised us. They've done it with Sanchez. I remember when I couldn't see us getting a Aubameyang, and we got a Aubameyang off Dortmund when he was one of the best strikers in the world. Declan Rice, obviously, for 105 million. So I think it's possible, but I'm not going to get excited until I see Arsenal actually make a bid.
Facts. Nev, my brother, what are you thinking about this move, Vinny Jr., as Dan alluded to? I know there's a lot of doubt in my mind, but like Dan just said, Mbappe's the main man over there. Jose Mourinho's now the manager, a manager that defended a player that was racist to you. Multiple racist abuses received in Spain. When you come over England, I'm not saying there's no racism, but it's not as bad as Spain. Let's call a spade a spade. You understand? London, you're coming to London as well. Big Brazilian community over in London. Do you
Brazilian
think this
players
could
are
happen?
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say there is we've got a good connection with Brazil as a nation, right? So lots of Brazilian players played for us. I'm kind of with you guys though. I don't see happening as much as I would like to see Vinicius Junior in at the Emirates. There's probably too much variables. I did think initially when even before the links, when Jose Mourinho was announced as their manager, I was thinking, right, like how does that work with him, given all the stuff you just said, right? But I mean, I don't even think the money is the issue. I think it's more whether he wants to come. I think historically we don't see many players maybe moving from La Liga. There's a language barrier, so whilst there might be lots of positives, London, I wish we could be more positive about it. But kind of what you guys said, right? So I've seen reports even today talking about he's faltering a little bit, and it could just be a play to get more money. Like he's got 1 year left in his deal. Is that good money if you spend 120 or 130 million on him? I think players like Vini Jr. don't come up every window. So I think if there's an opportunity for us to go and do it, let's go break the bank. But I think as much as Ornstein is usually reliable, I just can't see can't see the way forward of how we actually get it across the line. Like you said, right? There's been a lot of talk, even with Guimaraes. There's been a lot of talk with Rodgers, where these things have been coming up, and then we take too long or it stalls. And that's why we brought Berta in, right? He was supposed to be this killer in the transfer window to go and get these deals done. And I mean, he's not really showing me or giving me much confidence that he's going to go and do that with this Vinicius Junior deal.
One thing that as what people have been saying is that if Vini does move, Arsenal's the top place where he could move. He's not going to go Barcelona. Can't really see him going Bayern Munich. Where else is he going? Liverpool?
Oh, listen, Dan, we're Premier League champions now. So look,
do you understand?
It was always a big club, but let's have it right. We thought we were bigger than we were. When you don't win a league title for 22 years, you lose a bit of that aura. It's just a fact. You do. Man United are massive, but I can guarantee you now, if you give any top player now, where do you want to go? Arsenal, United. There's only one destination they're going to, and of course, United are the biggest club in England with Liverpool. But right now, there's no player that would be choosing United over Arsenal. That's for sure. So we are in that market now. Arteta has brought us back there. Hope you like the new photo there. See the two legends with the two Premier Leagues there. If you can't see it, it's Mikel and
don't worry. I've got a new one as well. Can't you say I ain't got my green screen today? We ain't streamed him so long. I don't know where I fucking put it, mate. Yeah?
Swear.
That's why I'm like this, my bro. Yeah, the cover's been released. They've got the green screen. You can all see plugs there and all of that. The green screen's not up, my bro. It's crazy. I don't know where it is.
I want to read this one out, Dan, from Mick, because it's funny that he's just put this word up, right? Exploring doesn't mean anything is agreed. Arsenal aren't even in talks. It's all for a bumper contract. However, I just saw it on AFTV on Instagram now. The last 6 times he has said Arsenal have been exploring a player, we have gone on to sign him. So take what you will with that.
Albeit it was Norgard and Raya and these type of man when we was exploring. Do you understand?
Yeah, but listen, Dan, the deal still got done, didn't it? There was I think Declan Rice was in there as well. Mick says United still have more ball than Arsenal. I totally disagree. United are going and getting 29-year-old fat players from Aston Villa, right? Can't even run. No, he's all right, Tielemans, yeah, but he's, you know what I mean? You're going and getting players like that. We're looking at Vini Jr. We're looking at Bruno Guimaraes. We go to clubs now and take their best players. What United used to do. United used to take remember, like even players like Alan Smith, Rio Ferdinand, Wayne Rooney, best player from Everton, Leeds' best player, Rio Ferdinand. That's what United used to do. Our best player, Van Persie. Arsenal now go West Ham, their captain, their best player, Declan Rice, would take him. We're now going to Newcastle and saying your best player, your captain, will take him too. We're moving like a big club now. That is what Arsenal are doing. Eze, Crystal Palace's best player, we'll take him. And he's helped us win a Premier League title. One of the most sought-after strikers in the world, Gyökeres. Whatever you think about him, at the time when we bought him, he was literally what? He had just got, what did he get, that Gerd Muller award or whatever for most goals in the season? He was hot property. So I think Arsenal...
That's a perfect roll into this story, Dan. That's what it is. There's a lot of talk about Victor Gyökeres moving to Atletico Madrid right now. I'll read this out. Arsenal have not offered Victor Gyökeres. It is Atletico who have become interested in him out of fear that Julian Alvarez won't back down from wanting to leave. Atleti are already in conversations with the Swedish striker to see his willingness to join. Jez, what do you think about that with Gyökeres?
Well, I think that would be disappointing. I think he's a decent player, to be honest. Unfortunately, last season, he just didn't get the gameplay that he should have had. We had our midfield wasn't servicing him to give him the through balls that he needs.
Mm-hmm.
That brings us back to the biggest scrub at our football club, Odegaard. Absolute waste of time. And, let's be honest about it. Right, he was shit for Arsenal for the last 2 seasons, and he was rubbish in the World Cup. Absolute, for Norway, he was crap. So,
Odegaard, I thought you did all right.
He had a couple decent performances, though, Jez. There was one.
He was playing better than he was for Arsenal.
For me, he was one of the best players at the World Cup.
Yeah,
Yeah,
No,
he's got.
Dan, now you've
yeah.
gone too
I
far,
don't know about
Dan.
best, but he definitely was
Wait,
playing
he
better
was
for
one of the
Norway
best
than for Arsenal.
running
You
games, mate, and
are
he had some brilliant assists as well. Well,
Dan,
how many assists did he get? 4?
Come on.
I had
No,
that
I
argument.
thought he was brilliant
His
for Norway.
best
I
games, he
really
was
did.
coming up against farmers, man, and then in that Brazil game, it was Casemiro and them type of old man running after him. But I
Dan,
hold my
we're
hands
not
up.
talking about who
I,
he played against, what he did. At the end of the
I
day,
hold my hands up and say
he
there was
had
a
a good
couple of
whole team.
games I see him, and I said to myself, "Are you back, Odegaard?" But yeah, you're not gonna what's it called, trick or trickster. I need to see more. And there was a lot of talk of him going as well at the end of the last season, but that seems to have gone quiet. And I'm pretty upset about that. I know you're an Odegaard fan, Nev.
Yes, I am. I was going to say, I thought he did all right at the World Cup. It seemed like he was saving himself for the World Cup, which is disappointing. And if that is the case, he's the captain. He shouldn't be doing that sort of stuff. But I'll probably look. I think with Gyökeres, we haven't seen the best of him. Like I've seen videos of him in the off-season training and trying to get fit. He didn't have a full preseason before. Agree with Jez, right? Probably didn't play to his strengths. We didn't see what he was capable of. Had a few niggles and injuries throughout the season and kind of disrupted his involvement in the game. I think ultimately we won the league with him, and that's kind of what we bought him for, to go and win the league.
14, didn't he score? He scored 14 goals in the league as well. That's a
league,
tidy return for your first season.
Yeah, 21 in all competitions. So not bad. I would personally give him a second season. But again, like I said before the show started, right? If Alvarez is on the table and you're telling me we have an option to say Alvarez or Gyökeres, I'm taking Alvarez because we know what he's about. He's been in the league before, and he looks like he's a killer, fit into our team a little bit better than Gyökeres is struggling to fit into our team.
Sorry to cut you, Nev, but even though Gyökeres, literally, I mean, the song we sing about him, I know there's rumours they got back together at the end of the season, but he dumped his girlfriend to play in red and white, and he done everything. He moved heaven and earth to come and play for Arsenal. Yeah. And listen, I criticised him throughout the season, but listen, like we all said, 21 goals. He scored some big goals as well. The goal against Tottenham, I'll never forget. You know, my first time going to Spurs away. What an amazing goal that was. It was brilliant. You know, he had some big moments. He got the penalty against Atletico Madrid in the semi-finals of the Champions League. He had some good moments, and he had some bad moments. But I mean, ultimately, he walked away with a Premier League title. And the thing is, he wants to be at Arsenal. And for starters, I can't see. I don't believe Arsenal will want to get rid of Gyökeres at all. I think, you know, he's been in a year. We've won the Premier League. I just don't see it happening at all. But with the Alvarez thing, yeah, would you say Alvarez is a more, you know, technically gifted footballer? Yeah, of course you would. Although the goals.
Would you take Alvarez if it meant Gyökeres had to go the other way, Dan? Would you do that?
The reason why I wouldn't do it is because Alvarez is dying for Barcelona, right? And we see it happen with players over the years. Griezmann, you know, was dying to get to Barcelona, and he wasn't really performing at that level at his latter years at Atletico Madrid. And sometimes when a player really wants to go somewhere, so how long is he going to come to Arsenal for 2 or 3 years, and then he's going to want to go to Barcelona? You know,
if we win the Champions League in those 2 or 3 years.
But even if we did win the Champions League, sometimes it doesn't matter, right? Some players
where I am with Arsenal now, I'm at the point where there's no time for sentimentality. I think we've had that period where we kept players for maybe a little bit too long for things like all the stuff he said. Oh, he wanted to leave and he gave all this up and moved heaven and earth. I get it, right? And that's great for him. Great that he wanted to come to us. I want players that want to play for us ultimately, but we need to be clinical. And like I said, these players don't always come up all the time. So if there's opportunities to look at areas where we can improve, I think when you boil down to it, is Alvarez better than Gyökeres? You know, you probably have to say yes. So he improves the squad. And for me, that's kind of where I'm like now. Yes, same with Martinelli. He's been there for a while. But the players we're looking at on the left, are they better than him? Probably. So it's probably time for him to move on as well.
I think with the Alvarez thing, the only way you would actually get him is because Arsenal ain't going to pay 150 million, right, for Alvarez, because it's not realistic, is it, right? And I mean, even was it Real Madrid or Barca or one of them, maybe both of them, they're not going to pay that money either. So I think where you have Gyökeres, you could say Gyökeres and money on top. And listen, Gyökeres is if there's ever a Simeone striker, it's Victor Gyökeres, right?
100%.
You know, so you know. And maybe Alvarez would suit our style more. You know, I want to see Arsenal, which we'll get into now, next season. Now, as we're champions, we got over that hurdle. We want to see the next when you've got everything you want, you're the Premier League. We've all died for this for 22 years. Of course, we want a Champions League, but we're going to want to see some football now. We want to see us I don't want to go to the Emirates and be bored for 60 minutes and then we get a goal, and then it's sort of like, we're just all on the edge of our seat, because I don't think the fans will be like that, and I don't think the players will be, and I don't think Mikel will be. So I want to see us play better football. But if you look at some of the best football we played, ultimately it led to nothing, was when Gary Jesus was on fire. Pre World Cup 2022 when he first signed, and that's the sort of role that Alvarez would play if he was at Arsenal in a dream scenario, which I think would allow us to play a more exuberant sort of style of football. But just on the style of football, I'll go to you, Dan. Obviously, me and you were at the Emirates last year. There were a lot of games where, we were watching it and we just wanted to get over the line. You think back to Wolves at home, you think back to Newcastle, even, and then those last 5 games when we had to win, and there were some good performances, and we won games of set pieces. Is it important this year that we does it matter? Is it important this year that we kind of upgrade
It's
our
got to be
style?
better, Dan.
Yeah,
It's
I
got to
agree.
be better, because so many games I went to last season, man, it was a hard watch, as you would say, Dan. It was a hard watch. It's got to be better football this season. A player like Vini Jr., even
Yes.
though I'm not confident that we're going to get him, that would bring the excitement back to the Emirates, if you're asking me. Because at the moment, if I'm going to the Emirates, I'm not really excited to say, yeah, I want to go and see him kick ball. Yeah, there's not no one that's really getting me up at the edge of my seat at the Emirates now. Yeah, it used to be Saka, but Saka kind of fell off. So who is it now that's really getting me excited at the Emirates Stadium? Yeah, it was bad football last season, if we're being honest. It was
I
great
wouldn't say it's
defensive
bad
football. It was
football. I
it
would
was
just say
great
it
defensive
wasn't.
football, Dan,
Yeah.
but it was
No,
bad football a lot of the
I
time,
wouldn't
Dan.
say it was bad football. I would never say that looking at the
Dan,
stats.
It wasn't
I wouldn't say it's
entertaining.
bad football. I would say it wasn't free flowing football.
it
It just
wasn't
wasn't
free
entertaining.
flowing. It wasn't.
It was good winning football, right? We still want to keep that core of it, by the way. You want to rip up what we done last season and say, let's go gun ho. We still want to be smart about it, right? We just want to
No,
see,
100%.
us
We need to
kill
see a bit
games off
more,
a
and
bit more
and I
earlier,
think
and
the Champions League final as well. I can never see that again. Yeah, you can say that it was a good game plan, but 24% possession in the Champions League final. After we scored that goal, there just wasn't much happening. I cannot. If we get to another Champions League final, it needs to be more expansive. It needs to be more fluid. I'm not saying gun ho. We didn't need to go gun ho. We're gonna kept it being defensive, but there should have been more going forward, Dan. Should have been more going forward. It was a hard watch, like most of the season. It was.
just touching on obviously Vinny, just going back to it because you mentioned Saka, and obviously Saka was that guy that would get everyone off the. You'd hear the seats lift up at the Emirates when the ball come out to him on the right. Can Saka come back? Because him not playing for England was absolutely, that's one of the most craziest decisions ever. In that, or not even playing a part at all. Everyone's just thinking he's obviously not fit. Then he comes on against France in their third place playoff, scores a hat trick. Now, if we were to get a top left-sided winger, what I think that would actually help Saka more than anyone else there in that team. Because if you've got Vini on the left, you can't just double up on Saka. Because, you could double up on Saka and Martinelli. What's he going to do? He scores one league goal, right? So he's nowhere near as a threat as someone who's like Vini. If you're doubling up on Saka and leaving us to the left, go on then. Go on then. Vini will score a hat-trick. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like it's really key that we get a top-level left winger to help Saka carry that burden, because as much as Saka, probably his worst season at Arsenal last year, maybe, even though he won a Premier League, and he still had some good moments. You think back to the Fulham game when we really needed it, and he got an assist and a goal. They were the most. Them last 5 games were the most important games of the season, as we all know.
I don't know about Saka, Dan. I'll be honest with you. I really wanted him to get back to his best, but I'm 50-50 with him. I just don't know what we're going to get from Saka this season. I just feel like he's been found out. It's become very predictable, and you'll see what happens in this season. But I think it's 50-50 with him. I can't sit there and say I'm confident that Saka's going to light the world on fire this season. I just don't know about it, to be honest with you. And
do you think he's still our best player, Dan? Like our best outlet, our most important player? We'll come to Jez on this after on Saka.
You have to say that he is. Our most important player is Gabriel, Saliba and Raya for me, based on our style of play, how defensive we are and how defensively sound we are. So those are our most important players. But in terms of our attacking players, you got to say it's Saka. Who else you looking to? There's not much going on if we're being honest. Martinelli,
Jez, how do you
Eze.
feel on the whole?
Sorry, say again, mate.
How do you feel, Jez? How do you feel about Saka? Obviously, with England, he didn't come on in that game against Argentina. Did you feel like he should have been at least brought on in that game? Obviously, scores a hat trick in the third place playoff.
So how big up my
Yeah,
guy.
it's a hard one, isn't it? Basically, let's be honest, Saka's not fully fit. Right, he has not yet fully recovered from that grade 3 hamstring, and he probably never will. He probably never will. That's a major, major injury for any top athlete in whatever sport you are in. I don't think he'll ever be the same. He's quality, don't get me wrong. I like Saka. I think he's a brilliant footballer. And yes, he scored that hat trick in a bullshit game. Let's get it right.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's a bullshit game. France weren't interested. England were having a run around. England went 4-0 up, sat back, and then France came back in the game. And it was entertaining. I have to say, it was entertaining, but it was a bullshit game.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't see why they even bother with that now. Apparently, back in the original days of the World Cup, it was more of an important game to give a team a prize for coming third and a team for coming fourth. But nowadays in modern football, it's irrelevant. Let's be honest. Third is second loser. What's the point?
I agree. I think it's a money thing. I couldn't believe, Jez, because I had to look it up. I thought, how long has this been going on for? And I was like, it's been going on for years. Like, they literally had it in like the first World Cup. And listen, obviously it's a game it's a game that no one wants to play in. Like, let's be real. But still, to see him score a hat trick, I thought was good, and it would do him the world of good. And they asked him after the game, "Are you fit?" And he said yes. So, listen, maybe we're going to have a fresh Saka
maybe.
Next season.
Nev, what are you saying about Saka? Are we going to keep giving him that defense, that hamstring injury, his Achilles? Is he going to keep having that defense, or is it we don't want to hear these excuses no more? It's time to turn up, Saka.
It's similar to what I said, right? The sentimental stuff where, yeah, he's star boy, come through the academy, hail end.
Nev, can you? It's a little bit low for me. I'm not sure about you guys.
Can you better?
Yeah,
that's better.
Yeah. So I was saying about the sentimentality, right? So I know he's hail end. He's come through the club. He's been there since he was young. But at some point, what happens on the pitch is what matters, right? And I think you're saying is he our most important player? He missed quite significant parts of the season last year. So we relied on like the defensive base. David Raya saved us quite a bit. I mean, if again somebody came up who was going to light the world on fire, yeah, it's time to move him on. I would have to say we can't just be sentimental and say, that's our star boy. There will come a time where he will want to leave, or we have to sell him. Like it's football at the end of the day, right? No one's going to be bigger than the club. And is it now? Is it later? He's on big wages, so freeing him up, and if we were to move him on, gives us an opportunity to go and maybe get someone else who can improve that right hand side.
Madueke. He played a big part in that World Cup. And I was defending him at the end of the season, saying give him more time. But after seeing him at that World Cup, I don't know if I can keep defending Madueke, I'll be honest with you. What? I can't defend him no more.
He's just too inconsistent. You never know what you're going to get with him. That's the problem. I think, yeah, it's a strange one. Even when the deal came from Chelsea, I wasn't really too sure. I thought he would naturally fit in on the left-hand side, but he's played obviously more on the right. And I don't know how much longer he's got at the club, but Arteta seems to like him.
Yeah, definitely does.
Weird with Madueke. You know my old man, Danny, he loves him.
Yeah, I know.
And he's always saying to me, he doesn't love him, but whenever I run him down, he says, trust me, he's effective. He's good to bring on like for the last 15 and 20 minutes in games.
Where's the Irish accent, bro? Say it in his accent.
I said, yeah. Daniel Guy, I tell you, he's a good player. He can attack. He attacks. He's direct. And we don't have that in the team. So that's what he tells me. But listen, my dad really likes Odegaard as well. So two players that a lot of people despise, in Jez's case with Odegaard. my old man's quite fond of, and he's obviously from the older generation. It just shows that we all have different opinions of players.
I don't despise Odegaard. I don't. I just don't think you go back 3 years, right, when he first came in. I thought, whoa, yeah, this looks. He looks quality, man. He looks quality. And then he sort of slapped off, and I thought, And then last season, he went missing way too many times as a club captain, and I thought, I mean, I respect what you said about the World Cup. Personally, for me, I don't think he did a great amount for Norway. Personally, but okay, we can agree to disagree. But at the end of the day, you have to stand up and count in top flight football. And how many times was Odegaard substituted?
Mick said it just there. Look,
there you go.
Yeah, agree.
That's your captain getting substituted damn near every game. That says an awful lot. But personally, for me, his style of play has dropped off a cliff. Now,
he's forgotten how to shoot. I think that's the one thing that frustrates me with him. Like you said, 3-4 years ago, he was getting maybe 10 goals a season, shooting from out edge of the box. Now,
nothing. There's no output from him, and he disappears, hides behind the referee, sideways, backwards. Right? There's so many occasions last year watching all the Arsenal games where he had opportunities to feed the ball forward, and he didn't. There was a classic. I can't remember the exact game.
I remember, Jez.
Whereas Gyökeres was making a through run and he's asking for the ball. Odegaard is 10 yards there and he passed it behind him, passed it sideways. And he had a clear pass straight through to Gyökeres. No, not good enough. Madueke, never wanted him. I had Chelsea fans, right, that I know very, very well from years and years and years. And they were laughing at me saying, oh, you bought Madueke. You bought Madueke. And I was going, yeah, he's shit. Then they're telling me he's shit. We never wanted him. He's rubbish. And you bought him. Thank you very much indeed. Now, that guy in the World Cup, what did he do in the World Cup? For England, what did he do? Same as what he does for Arsenal. He gets the ball, great pace, technically very good, and runs it out of play.
Frustrating.
Can't string two passes together. No, sorry, man. He's got to get out of the club. Not good enough for Arsenal. Not for me.
Do you see us getting rid of him this summer, or are we going to wait a little while, hold on to him?
Nev, I don't think he'll go this summer, man. I don't.
Same.
I don't think so, man. For me, he's a bench player, right? Bring him on, as Positive Dan said, last 15. He can do a job, but his output is not good enough to be wearing an Arsenal shirt. When you look at how, and I did a show about this, right? Was it Arsenal were that good, or was it the other teams were shit?
I think it was a bit of both, Jez.
Well,
I think
I made the comparison, right? We all remember when Leicester City won the Premier League, right? Arsenal were the only team to beat them home and away. But a lot of other teams fell off a cliff. Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, Man City, all fell off a cliff that year. And Leicester City took the piss and got away with it. And respectfully, well done. Well done. Arsenal were the only team that came close, beating them twice. No other team beat them twice in that season. So was that the same last year, that Arsenal got a little bit lucky in Man City, hiccuped, Liverpool were crap, let's be honest. Man United have been shit for quite a few years. Chelsea are in a rebuild. We're going to find out this season, guys, whether Arsenal can do it again.
The reason why I would go right totally against that is because, to compare it to Leicester, I think is a bit poor, because Leicester the year before finished 17th. They just came out of nowhere, and 5,000 to 1. Arsenal would have been one of the favourites, if not the favourite. Probably Liverpool was slight favourites. We were probably second favourites. We had just finished second 3 years in a row. So as Arteta said famously in one of his press conferences, they said, "Do you think you'll win the league?" I think it was maybe 2 years ago, and he said, "Yes, I do, because if you keep knocking on the door, eventually it opens." And so we're not just a team that came out of nowhere and just won the league by luck. We've been going close year in, year out, accumulating more points than anyone. 89 points. It was 84 points, then it was 89 points. And we dropped off, obviously, the season before last. I think it was 78. So we have been knocking on that door. We was in a Champions League semi-final. The not last season, of course, it was the final, but before that, and before that was a quarter-final. So, we're a big club, and it's been coming. This Premier League title has been coming. We didn't just win it out of nowhere. So for me, whether other teams weren't at their best or not, that doesn't mean nothing to me, because this year everyone could have a so-called bad season and we could just win it. And then what does that mean? It's just like saying, like if a player, Kaka, for example, was the best player in the world for 3 years, but there wasn't much other standout players at the time. There wasn't, like with Henry, you had Henry, Ronaldinho, and people forget about Kaka being the best player in the world because he didn't really have a nemesis sort of thing. So, let's not forget Manchester City also won a double last season. So they weren't totally crap because they won the FA Cup and they won the Carabao Cup. So they won a double, 2 trophies, right? So, man, they still had Pep Guardiola. They still had the best striker in the world.
We're talking about the league. We're talking about the league.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. So there was still a good
side. You can agree, Dan. I don't care how we won it, but you can agree that these teams weren't as good as their usual selves, i.e. your Man Cities. Man City fell off in the league.
Well, Chelsea have been crap for ages. Man United were better last season, way better.
I said Man City. Can you agree that Man City fell off last season in the league?
I think Man City had a better season last season than they did the year before because they won nothing the year before.
Yeah, but they were poor in both seasons, Dan. That's all I'm saying.
Man City improved last season, right?
Dan, I'm just saying, do you think Man City were bad last season? They weren't at their best that we've known them to be. That's all I'm saying,
well,
Dan.
They finished third. They finished third the season before. So they improved. They finished second and they won 2 trophies. So I think Man City had a much better season, right? So I can't listen. Whenever a team wins the league, I heard the same thing with Liverpool. It was probably happened when United were dominating for years, and they say, "Oh, there's no competition." And you hear it about Bayern Munich and PSG, and it's always, there's never just, you were the best team, you won the league, that's it. So, the same thing will be said, but Arsenal have never, in the Premier League, right? We've never gone on to retain the Premier League title. I think maybe in the 30s we done it in the old Division 1 title, but we've never done it, right? In the Premier League, Arsenal have never done it. So, and even when we won it with George Graham couldn't retain it. Arsene Wenger couldn't retain it. Can this man right here?
All right, so let me ask you a question on what you're saying.
Can he be the first man to retain the Premier League title?
Do you feel like we can retain the Premier League title with our current crop of players, or do you feel like we need some signings to elevate us and push us through this season? Dan.
In answer to that, if it's hard to say that because I don't know who the other clubs are going to sign, right? But if the transfer window's shut now, and all we signed was the boy who I'm going to talk about after, by the way, the boy from Bruges, can't really pronounce his name. So, but if that's all we signed, and I don't think no one, right? The only teams that are going to fight us for the title potentially would be Liverpool or City. Let's be real, right?
You're writing Man United off.
100%. Yeah, Man United have got to play Champions League football now, and even the signings what they're making, they don't. Come on, the signings they're making are pretty embarrassing, right? To sign Tielemans, a 29-year-old from who I think
I don't think Tielemans is that bad as everyone's making out. I think he's a tidy footballer.
I think that's his level is Aston Villa, and I think that's going to be. I don't think that'd be a good signing at all. And then the other guy at Santos, a youngster who didn't even make it at Chelsea. I don't know too much about him, but 50 million seems pretty crazy to me. We signed Madueke for 50 million as well, right? Chelsea are good at selling these so-called youngsters, but I don't think. I think Man United are going to be. I think they'll struggle to get top 4 next season because I think the fact that they're back in the Champions League, they're not going to be able to ref players, and that the squad's not that big anyway. Michael
And
Carrick,
Chelsea, are you
brilliant,
right?
brilliant
Yeah, are you
player.
right in Chelsea? If you remember,
Chelsea
there was
are the
one point
only
last
team.
season.
Chelsea, look, I look at what they're doing, and I look at them not playing European football, because even though when you're in that crappy conference, it's still a distraction. You still got to travel. Maybe not all the players are playing, but you still got to travel far away. It's still another game, and it does take its toll a little bit. And obviously they won it when they were in it. They were in the Champions League last year, and it obviously took its toll on the team. Now this season they've got no European football, and I remember when we had no European football for the first time, and we were going for top four. We ended up finishing fifth, but you saw us progressing. So I think Chelsea will progress without a doubt. They've got a winning manager who's won a league before over in Germany by going unbeaten, and I've said from the start, and me and Don CFC was on Terry's show, the Football Terrace, at the start of last season doing our predictions, and I said Chelsea need experience. And he said, no, we've got experience. Enzo Fernandez is experienced. Reece James is a Champions League winner. I said, you need real experience. And that's what they look like they're doing. They're going for Danny Welbeck. They're going for Henderson now after trying to get Xhaka. So they're clearly going for a bit of experience. So I think Chelsea, I don't think they'll be in a title race, but I think they'll be a hell of a lot better, and they could be going for a top four. The only team that I could see really, really fighting with Arsenal is Man City, because obviously they've got Erling Haaland, because they've got loads of Premier League winners. Phil Foden's just signed a new contract. I think he's going to be probably back to being the main man for them next season. Enzo Maresca, I think, is a good manager. And obviously Liverpool, if Isaac clicks, Irola, I rate him highly. They don't forget that
I'm not really.
they
I
only
don't
won the
really.
Premier
I'm
League
not
two
really looking at
seasons ago.
Liverpool, Dan. I'm looking at Man City. I'm looking at Chelsea might cause some problems, and I'm not sleeping on United. I can't sleep on them. The way they bopped Man City off the park, they beat Arsenal last season. They beat Liverpool with a few tweaks, a couple signings.
They beat us with 2 shots the whole game, man. This no, that's
They beat
Dan.
us down at the Emirates. They beat
Do you
us
know
at the
what, though,
Emirates.
Dan? To be fair, you said this last season that they would, and I didn't think that. I did not see United getting top four last season. So look, you might be right. It'd be good
You
to
know
see
what I look
Arsenal
at,
and
Dan? The
United
main
going
thing
for
I
a
look
Premier
at with
League title.
United is Cunha, Embuemo, Fernandes. It's a problem for anyone. That's a problem for anyone. There's goals there. They've got the goals. And I argued with you that their front
Have they
three
got
and
that many goals? Have they got that many goals with that
Dan,
squad?
it's better than ours. It's better than what we've got going forward.
I don't think it is, man.
Who are you
I
going to
don't
compare?
think it is.
Okay, Cunha, Embuemo,
I
and
think Saka's better than the
Fernandes.
whole
Who are we
front three.
comparing them to? Who's better than Cunha in our team? Eze? Are we going to say Eze maybe?
Yeah, I would take Eze over Cunha.
Eze, that's a good Embuemo. We're comparing Saka to him, I think.
Saka
Embuemo.
all day long, and I'll take Gyökeres over Sesko. So
Would you take Odegaard over Fernandes?
no chance. Of course not. Of course not. Fernandez is,
That's
he
what
was.
I'm saying. So I'm just saying, attacking wise,
I
they're a
don't think
threat,
he
man.
deserved Player of the Season last year, but he got it. I think that should have went to one of the Arsenal players, and the PFA players yet to be done yet, who's voted by the players. And I think surely Declan Rice goes on to get that. Talking
We
about
need.
Declan Rice, do you know what someone said to me today? Just quickly, Dan. Obviously, listen, it's one of those stories. Someone told me. He said someone told him about 2 months ago Arsenal will sign Vini Jr., but it won't be done until later on in the transfer window. And he said, I don't know, I thought nothing of it. But he said the only way we sign him is if we give them 140 million and we allow them to buy Declan Rice for a set price in 2 years' time. And I was like, that's definitely not going to happen. Arsenal are not going to let go of Declan Rice in 2 years. It just sounds it's like make believe stuff in it, but apparently that's what I've
That's
been
crazy.
told.
They'll definitely take Declan Rice, especially after those 2 free kicks. They'll be all over
Yeah.
that. Let's be honest. All right, this is a good one. Look, Chelsea are not a joke, Even that Enzo, Rodgers, Caicedo, Palmer. It's looking a bit tasty, I'll be honest. It's looking a bit tasty, pause, man. Do you understand? And I'm looking at
They would have to sign a goalkeeper and some centre backs, Dan, though, because that's the
100%.
deal.
100%.
You won't win a league without a good defence. Like Alex Ferguson, the great Ferguson said, attackers win you games, defence win you league titles.
Yeah,
And
facts.
obviously, George Graham, Mikel Arteta are both proven that at Arsenal. Even Arsene Wenger, he inherited that team from George Graham in 1998. He wouldn't have won that league without that defence. A defence that slept on in 2004, Toure, Cole, Laren. obviously Sol Campbell. You know, without that signing of Sol Campbell, we don't go on to win the double. So Chelsea, look,
Infamous Black Four. That's what we used to call them, the Black Four. Infamous
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Well, I've always said that we need black defenders. To be fair, as a little in-house joke with my mates, but yeah, next season. I mean, look. Usually at the start of the season, usually it's split. Most guys like myself and Nev would say we think we're going to win the league. I'm sure at the start of the season last year, Jez said we weren't. You definitely said we weren't, Dan. Are we all on the same page? Do we all think we're going to win the Premier League next season? Go to Jez first.
Well, I'd love to see it. Don't get me wrong. I want Arsenal to win everything every year. You know, I've never seen Arsenal win back-to-back league titles. Sadly, you know, we won 3 in the 30s under the old Div 1, but I don't know, Dan. I don't know. I'm sitting here right now. I'd have to say to you, I'm not convinced yet.
If you had a free bet to put on a team to win the league, who would you put your money on?
Right now?
Yeah.
If it's a free bet, I'd say Arsenal. But I will say as a but here, it all depends on what Berta and Arteta do with this team. There's players that need to go out that door. We've still got Jesus. He needs to go. And I think the problem we're going to have with him...
He's not going to go, is he, Jez?
He's not going fucking nowhere on those ways. Who's going to...
Yeah, they'll come into him and say, right, I think it's time to move on now. Like, you know, we found a club or whatever. Someone's willing to pay this. And he's going to say, are they going to pay me $250 a week? And then we're going to say, no, they're only going to pay you $100 or whatever. And he's going to say, well, I'll stay at Arsenal. I'll see you in pre-season. I'll see you in pre-season, guys. Yeah. The tea ladies are probably like, oh, Gabriel, you're still here. And he's like, yeah, still got my contract. And look, it's what happened. He helped us at the time elevate ourselves. Since then, he's been a disaster, obviously, with injuries. And
if he stays, he might be able to do a little job here and there. I give him that.
Well, listen, exactly. If you've got if Saka's out injured, or this is another thing I've heard, by the way. Dalman is going to get a lot of football this season. This is what I've heard from someone who knows someone at the club. So apparently, let's not forget there's Dalman on that right as well that we could be seeing. But look, if Saka's going to be out for the first however long. Madueke might not be playing well. Obviously, Jesus is always an option to have. He probably ain't going to stay fit. But, I mean, yeah, Jez is right. We need to get rid of him. Even Odegaard, if he was to go, if you were to get decent money for him and you replace him with someone, I wouldn't be against that at all. Sometimes you do need to freshen things up. But I don't think we need to go and do like what Liverpool did. Obviously, it was really unfortunate that they lost like a key player in Jota, rest his soul. But the other two players, they got rid of. Well, Trent just run down his contract, but that was a massive miss for them. And then they let Diaz go. They won the Premier League and let go of their best left winger. Now, Arsenal are not selling any of our best players after we've just won the Premier League. But I don't think we need to go and get 5, 6, 7, 8 like starters. I think we need maybe 2 or 3 new starters to freshen things up. And then you can get as many squad players as you want, really. Which brings me to the new lad from Belgium. Just watched his first interview with Arsenal, and you know how I am, Dan, about interviews. When I see something of a player or a manager, just by the way they speak, it really makes me, first impression sort of thing. And I have to say, the lad seems very, very. He seems serious. He said he's all about goals and assists. I think last season, I know it was only the Belgian league, 51 goals combined with assists. He won the league with them last year as well. We got player of the season, Belgian player of the year, by the way. When there's players like Lukaku and De Bruyne or whoever, we know they've got good players. He got player of the year for them. Looking at his style, I think 60% of his assists were from set pieces. So he's another outlet from set pieces. And I think he might just be one of them players that comes in that no one's expecting to do too much. And I think he could have a good season for us.
Norwich, did he?
Yeah, but he was very young at Norwich, Gyökeres was at Brighton and didn't do nothing either, and he went on to score loads of goals. So I think he was 20 years old. So
for me, I'll be a liar if I knew anything about him, Dan.
He even said in his interview they asked him about his time at Norwich, and he said, "Well, look, when you're at Norwich, for one, he was like 19 years old or whatever. You don't have the ball. Obviously, it's going to be at a team at Arsenal, who are obviously we're going to, as much as people say we're defensive, we dominate position, don't we?
That's all.
Sorry,
Me, all of us, Nev, Realist, Dan, we can all sit and bullshit, right, and come out with bollock statements.
Yeah, and talk the game. Dan's a man that gets sold by interviews. He loves it.
You know what I mean?
Well, I was right with Arteta, wasn't I, Dan? So
yeah, last season you was right, but for 3 seasons before that you wasn't right, Dan. Flipping hell.
Yeah, but the end goal, isn't it? It's all about the end goal.
It's not the Premier League, is it? It's the Belgian league. Come on, it's a big.
But Kevin De Bruyne come from the Belgian league, and admittedly, in his first in,
you always find a diamond in the rough.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. So yeah, but you don't know that, Jez. You know, I have a feeling. It's a gut feeling, and look, I don't know too much about him.
Have you seen him play?
I've seen only videos on YouTube.
Did he not? Did we not play Bruges? Did we play
saw
Bruges?
Him play when I went to Bruges away. Actually, yeah. I did see him then.
I think that's the thing. We played against them. I don't remember. Obviously, it's Bruges to Bruges, right? They didn't cause us too many problems. But I don't remember anyone with like some flicks or tricks or anybody from the Bruges team that caught my eye. So I'm with you. You know, I don't really have much expectation of him, but you know.
I think he's been brought as a second option to come off the bench. That's what I think he's been brought for.
I think ultimately he's going to be the second choice left winger, but I'm not sure what's going to happen with Martinelli yet either, because there is a lot of conundrums now. Because if we're going all out for Vinicius Junior, right, or we're in for Rodgers, so it looks like we're going for a left winger. You've then got Martinelli, the new guy, the Tosliers or whatever his name is, right? Yeah.
What would you call him? Tosliers.
Cholis, right? We've got him, we've got Martinelli, and we'd have a new. Let's say we sign Vinicius Junior, right? Even if it's not him, it's probably going to be someone, right? Bacola, whoever it might be, an upgrade, yeah. So then that's 3 left wingers. You've also got Madueke who can play there, as you alluded to earlier. That's where I initially thought he was going to play when we did sign him. So it's like 4 people there that can play. I don't know. I just don't. I feel like surely if we sign 2 left wingers, surely 2 go out. You know, one already has less. Trossard, who I think we should give a mention to. For me, you know, that he's a cult hero at Arsenal. Fantastic, big moments for Arsenal.
Everyone keeps talking about that West Ham goal. You know what they keep talking about? Odegaard came on. Who scored the goal? Trossard. Yeah. Ice cold veins in front of goal. That's what he's about.
Yeah. Listen,
he's one of. I think he was the top 2 finishers when he was there.
Yeah, he was fantastic last season. But when you look at the goals, I think he got 6 goals in the league, and Martinelli got 1. So if you're going to bring in someone of the caliber of Vinicius, who probably gets 15 goals a season, that's an extra 10 goals, you know. And I think if we can get a left winger of that quality, you know. And the thing is, as well, a lot of people
go. Something about Vinicius, though. Do you think the Premier League's different? When Vinicius played against us, he didn't do much.
Mate, Dan, I was thinking the exact same thing.
Does he come to the Premier League and just hit the ground running when you're going to all these people kicking the shit out of him? Come on now.
No, do you know what I think he'd be so good for though, Dan? You know, when there's a low block in front of us, you need not just pace like over a long distance. You need that short explosion of pace.
And he can dribble with the ball. Like he could dribble with the ball at his feet, which we don't necessarily have at the moment. So he can go past players, which we're lacking on both sides, left and right at the moment.
There's no doubt in my mind he would be a success at Arsenal. But just, you know, in the modern game, right? Because you look at players and fans just straight away go, oh, he's shit or he's not good enough. We shouldn't get him. And we, you know, even someone said to me they're not too excited about Gimires. I was like, well, Newcastle's captain, 28, he's in his prime.
Yeah, I want to come on to that.
But
I want to come on to the
in today's game,
it's Gimires, ain't it?
Hold on, Dan. In today's game, there's not. There used to be a lot more superstars, didn't there? There used to be a lot more flamboyant players that made you get excited. The game's changed now. It's more of an athlete's game, right? You have to be strong, physical, quick, more than good on the ball. Matt Letizia doesn't make it in today's game as good as he was, probably not, right?
That's harsh, Dan.
So when you look at players now, like not many players you get excited about. Like if I asked you now, what left winger would you want Arsenal to sign? You'd say Kvaratskhelia or Vinicius Junior. They'd be the 2 ones you'd want, right? One's at Real Madrid, one's at PSG. Who's another left winger that you could look at and say Arsenal should go and get? Possibly Barcola, not playing every game at PSG. Other than them three, what other left winger out there would get you really
Cola,
excited?
Due, I'll take Diaz on the left. Who else is there?
Diaz again at Bayern Munich.
Doku, I'll take Doku on the left. There's a few decent left wingers out there, but you're right, it's not a lot of them. There's not a lot of
Do
them.
you know what I mean? Like usually there's a player you can go to a club, not a massive club like Bayern Munich where they're already on 300k a week or whatever. There's a club you can go to. You go in the Premier League, you look at a club that's a bit lower than you. You could just say, you know what, kind of bully them and take the player. There's not that many top left wingers out there. Just like in the Premier League, there's not that many top strikers at the moment either.
What about Leo?
This is look. He's an enigma now, Rafael Leao. What do we think about him, guys?
I mean, I think he's one no one's really talking about. There were some early links on early in the window that was someone we were exploring and talking about, but it's obviously gone dead a little bit and looked at a few other options. I think he could be one. He's very inconsistent. It's more like, does he fit into the team? Like he's one I think is a bit more of a rogue character, and kind of in a Paul Pogba type mold where we could see him throw his toys at the pram if he's not getting what he wants at the club. But I don't know.
Yeah, listen, I just think the defensive side of his game, everyone raves about him. Then I'd have a bet on AC Milan. So I'd be like, let me watch the AC Milan game. He's not even starting,
Yeah.
right? So, but then he will do something special. Like a week later, I'll see a clip of him scoring a worldie. So it would listen. Some managers have got egos, and if Arteta could look at him and say, you know what, I think I could get the best out of him. I could get him tracking back. When managers buy players now, there's phone calls made. And a lot of it is about their attitude and their commitment and all that sort of stuff. So with Rafael Leao, it's not one that I could see happening. But I think there's going to be big surprises in this transfer window. I think Arsenal,
Fingers crossed.
I think we'll spend at least 250 million.
What do you lot think of the Guimaraes deal as well? Because I'm looking at it like this. You know how I feel about Zubimendi. Yeah, mediocre, not good enough. Yeah. Shouldn't be anywhere near the team. Last 5 games of the season, what happened to him? Arteta dropped him. He saw the light. Put Declan Rice where Declan Rice is meant to be playing in the 6. Yeah, and then we had Lewis Skelly and Odegaard or Eze in front of him. Now, I believe that that's where we're going to see Declan Rice this season. That's what Arteta wants. He wants him back in that 6. And that's why he's going for Guimaraes, because he's going to be playing Guimaraes in that number 8. Yeah, and he's going to be playing Odegaard or Eze in that other position. That's what I believe. Do you think, why are we going for Guimaraes? Where is he going to be playing? What do you think going on there?
For starters, I think Declan Rice is going to be out he's going to get that rest that he needs and deserves. So it would be Guimaraes.
I'm saying when he's fit, Dan, where do you think Guimaraes comes into the team?
I still think it could be Declan Rice, Guimaraes, and let's say Eze. I think that three.
So you're saying Zubimendi's done? Is that what you believe?
If Guimaraes comes in, Zubimendi's on the bench 100%.
I mean, I probably have to agree as well.
People in the house, man. You know what? 50 people. We ain't streamed for 2 months, Dan. So to have 50 people in the chat, that is good, man. Big up everyone, and make sure if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. Hit that like button for us because it helps the algorithm. And yeah, me and Dan, there's some people I know there's probably people that want to do super chats, become members. We don't know what's going on, but YouTube have disabled our AdSense. We don't know why. It's a battle that we've been fighting for the best part of 5 months now with YouTube. There is a possibility we may have to start a new channel, which is going to be really disappointing because, of course, to get monetized, you have to do 4,000 hours. We've done 6, 7, 8,000 hours. You have to have 1,000 subs. It took us a while, but we got there. So we put a lot of work in, but for some reason, YouTube have said our account is disabled due to being linked to
we're currently in the appeal process, but Jez was giving me some advice before, so I'm going to give that a go, what Jez said. But we're going to keep pushing. It's not that easy to get rid of us. You know what I'm saying?
It's only 2,000 hours now.
Is it 2,000 hours? They changed it now.
They changed it
ages ago.
Oh, we had to do 4,000.
Yeah, I did.
Well, they've changed it now to 2,000. Well, look, worst case scenario, we really don't want to have to make a new channel, but it looks like
Dan about it, Dan. I spoke to him and I was giving him an idea. of how to sort yourselves out on it.
Thank you. Sure, we'll continue that on after.
Yeah, I'm confident anyway. I'm confident it'll be
game's done, but-
sorted because the positive thing is that they ain't removed our channel, innit? So we just got to go through the process of appealing and whatever is going on. But it's horrible. It's horrible what's happened. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the reasons why me and Dan ain't been on as well. A lot of other stuff's been going on, but it's demotivating when it happens. Do you understand? Very
Yeah, and we'll be back.
demotivating.
And we're going to be doing next season, we'll be doing 4 shows. As instead of 1 show, there's going to be 4 shows. Monday night will stay the same. And in due course, we'll be posting up when our new shows are going to be on. There'll be one with just me and myself, Dan. Dan will do his own one. I'll do my own one. And then there'll be a panel show every Monday. So stay tuned in, guys, because it's going to be a big season, not just for Arsenal, but for Gooners Therapy.
All of that good stuff.
Moving on, I'll just on Arteta, right? You know, there was so much talk of him last season.
Yeah, I got a video to play, man. I got a video to play, man.
Do you want to play the video first?
They've never got to earn their pay rights. It's just given to them. Just given to them. We've won
This is the
nothing for
dark
6
days.
years. Yeah, and half of these players have either doubled or quadrupled their wages for doing nothing. And again, Arteta has to hold accountability for that because we've heard from the club that he is also part of the decision making.
I don't think it's all that's all down solely to Arteta, is it? But
I'm not saying it's solely down to him, but he has been part of the decision making. Dan, we can agree on that.
You know,
Yeah?
I think Marcus Rashford was on crazy money as well. This is modern football for you, isn't it? It's mad, really, isn't it? It's crazy.
Jez, I want to come to you on that same question. Are you still confident that we're going to win this Premier League, or are you starting to feel a bit shaky? Because I'm at 40% right now, if I'm being honest with you.
I said to you 2 weeks ago, I'm concerned. I said that to you. And I'll stand by what I said. Right? If he wins the Premier League, I want him gone. It's not enough. After what I've seen now, right? And that was when we lost the League Cup. Now we're out the FA Cup. This guy's a clown. But the thing is, you know, Arteta sexuals and the ones that support him will never admit when they're wrong.
The leader's above you, Jez.
Right? And look, I get it. Positive Dan, you ain't going to admit Arteta's a fucking shit ass because you've got your gig at fucking AFTV and you're not going to go against them because you know you go against them, you're out the door. That's what Fat Boy Robbie does. Right? And
Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. Ryan goes on AFTV.
Don't fucking bullshit me.
No, Jez,
I know it works.
I'll have to back him a little bit on that.
Don't bullshit me.
Lee Jez, you're talking absolute shit. You're talking absolute shit.
The biggest flip flop
out. You're talking absolute shit.
I'm not. You will never.
Well, Dan goes on AFTV with me.
I'll tell you what then, tonight, fella. You turn round to Robbie and say, you're a twat. I don't agree with what you're telling me. I'm out. Go on then. Go do it.
Why would I say that? Why would I say that?
You won't, because you will go
Why
along.
would I? Why would I disrespect? Why would I disrespect Robbie? This has got nothing to do with AFTV.
Because you're an Arteta.
Nothing to do with
AFTV. No, you all go along with the narrative.
Listen, while my manager, like, I'm a normal sane fan, that while their manager has their team top of the Premier League, they don't want him out. Simple as that. That's normal.
There's a lot of people.
There's not many fans in the world. There's not many fans in the world at any other club fan base that'll be that entitled that'll be sitting here calling for their manager out while he's got them in the best position they've ever been in. Jez, you were in your 40s the last time we won a Premier League title.
Yeah? And
exactly.
And
now Arteta could be the man to deliver the Premier League. So you should be thankful to Mikel Arteta.
What for?
Because he's going to deliver you the first Premier League title that you've seen in 22 years.
You actually bet me £1,000 on that.
Get you £1,000 on what?
£1,000 tonight on that one.
What, that we win the Premier League?
Yeah, bet me £1,000.
All right, so if we don't win it, if we don't win it, I'll give you £1,000, and if we do win it, you got to give me £1,000.
Yeah, well, let's sort it out then.
Yeah, go on, let's go.
That's embarrassing.
Yes, I'll send you my details after the stream. Yeah, I'll tell you
I'm
what, Jez.
sorry.
Jez, you help us get our YouTube thing not disabled, and we call it quits. Yeah.
Oh
Honestly,
man, that was crazy times, man. Toxic
But listen,
times that was.
I took a lot throughout that season. I took a lot of abuse in the comments. I was coming on streams, Nev, before you come on, and there was 6 of these guys like little devils. After we lost to Wolves, when it all started going wrong, bro. People were coming for me, bro. It was my body was going all. You know when you get that feeling, bro. It was horrible, bro. And I was stood there and I backed Arteta and I backed the Arsenal, and they come through. And obviously we won the Premier League. Now we have won the Premier League. Is there any different feeling towards Arteta for you, Jez? Is there more of, you know what, you've proven me wrong, you're a winner, let's go and win again? Are you behind him now more than you was, because obviously he hadn't won anything? That was your main thing. What has he won? That was you're saying, what has he won? What has he won? Now he's delivered, the best trophy that in my eyes you can win for Arsenal Football Club. Now he's done that. Is there more? Are you more behind him now than you was previously?
right. Let's put it this way. Right. I said to deluded Dan, this year, be none of that shit coming out of me, right? Because at the end of the day, I said a lot of crap last season, and I'll sit here and I'll say to you, he's got my support. He won. He did the job. The only thing I will say to you is, Dan, positive Dan, it's fucking awkward having 2 Dans here. It's a pain in the ass. Do it again.
Facts.
Go and do it again. And yeah, respect. And yeah, I mean, the amount of abuse I got on my channel about, oh, you need to go and apologise, this and that. I said, no, I'm not apologising for anything. I'm entitled to my opinion. I don't like him as a manager. He's not the manager I ever wanted. When we first got him in, I thought, what are we doing? But he won the Premier League.
Was you happy for him when he won it? When he lifted the Premier League trophy? Was you happy for him? All the hard work he's put in for the club?
Of course. Why wouldn't I be? I'm an Arsenal fan, lifelong. 58 bloody years I've supported this club. Of course I want to win. And I, was respectful, and I said, well done. You can go back. You can go back to my channel when Arsenal won the league after the parade, and I said, well done. Well done, Arteta. You proved me wrong, and respect you for it, but I ain't apologising because I am entitled to my opinion.
No, that's fair enough. There was a lot of fans, it was getting to that point because we had become so close, and I understand a lot of fans were, just felt like maybe he was the nearly man, maybe he was the Brendan Rodgers, maybe he was the Gareth Southgate of Arsenal sort of thing. And look, to a certain extent, I understood that. But now that we have done it, because I used to say, I've said it from the start, as Dan said from his first interview, I thought this man would do wonderful things for Arsenal Football Club, and I think that he will go down. And people, listen, look, Wenger, he's right there. I love the man. He was like a second dad to me. He was in my life from when I was in 1998, 6 years old in the toilet and pub. Arsene Wenger's all I knew until I was probably 30 years old, right? So love the man to bits. But even me, it got to that point where it was like, I think it's better for all parties. I would never be disgraceful like Dan going on AFTV and doing all that and banners and now. I wouldn't do that when the guy's giving me so much. But we'll come to that in a minute, Dan. But with Arsene Wenger, right? Obviously, yeah, he stayed too long in the end. We can all probably agree on that. But what he did was fantastic. 7 FA Cups and 3 Premier League titles. If you want to throw Community Shields in there, it's probably another 10. But we'll leave it as 3 Premier Leagues. The most FA Cups a manager's ever won in football, the history of English football, to win 7. I think Ashley Cole won 7, maybe as a player. But Arsene Wenger, complete legend. Obviously, has 10 trophies. Now, George Graham, your era, probably when you enjoyed football maybe the most, Jez, obviously won 2 league titles. They're probably the best, as good as the Invincibles was, maybe the best team, but we won it in the best way because you can't get any better than going and beating Liverpool 2-0 at Anfield on that. I think it was a Friday night. But so He won 2 league titles. He won, how many FA Cups did he win, Jez? Graham? He won a European Cup, Winners' Cup.
Well, we won the League Cup and the FA Cup the same year.
In 93.
Yeah.
87. What did he win? The league in it? Was it FA Cup in 87? First season?
Yeah, League Cup, beat Liverpool 2-0.
I think it was 7 trophies, I think, in something like that.
It was 7 trophies.
Yeah.
And of course, won the Cup Winners' Cup.
Yeah.
Last time.
Our only success in Europe. So obviously he won 7 trophies. Obviously Arsene Wenger won 10. You know, Arteta has won as people forget, he's won the FA Cup. He's now won the Premier League. So if he wins the Carabao Cup, he'll have won every trophy you can win in England, then it will just be the Champions League waiting.
Look, thing is, right, when we were debating this last season, right, on many of your great shows, and I love this show. It's great fun.
We love having you on, Jez, mate.
It's a good laugh, and it's a good debate. And as I said to Deluded Dan, this
realist Dan, that's Deluded Dan above you, man.
Sorry,
he's not deluded no more.
Sorry, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I did say that I'm not going to get into these heated debates anymore. It's pointless. It's no. What's the point of it? You know, I'm an adult, and sometimes I've acted like a complete twat. So it's not happening no more. And I did actually say to you, Positive Dan, if you may remember, if Arteta won the Premier League and the Champions League, give him a statue. Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course, I do remember that. Definitely, for sure, 100%.
Because he'd be the first manager at Arsenal to win a Champions League.
And it's still not on the cards. And do you know what? When you say that now, the Champions League, if for whatever reason, let's say Chelsea did come out of nowhere and, you know, they had a clean run and we had injuries and for whatever happened and it got late in the season and look, the Premier League looked like we weren't going to win it, but we were still in the Champions League. It wouldn't be like, you know, we'd already won the Premier League. So if next year we finish second but won the Champions League, it'd still be an unbelievable season for the club. Obviously, look, that for me, that Tuesday night, nothing, you know, there's only one thing that could probably beat that Tuesday night when we won the league, because everyone went to the Emirates. Forget about the parade, because at the parade, everyone and their mum and their dad and their dog knew about that, right? So you had a lot of people there. That
Tuesday night was unmatched.
Tuesday night, I was in the pub watching it, right?
That was unplanned.
Spontaneous, right?
Yeah,
and do you know what it was?
Yeah.
If you told someone, right, that weren't a real Arsenal fan, like, they wouldn't have known that we could win the league that day. If they're just some casual fan, because they wouldn't understand how Man City dropping points could mean we would win the league. So everyone who was watching that game was a proper Arsenal fan, went to the Emirates, and it was just an unbelievable experience, right? Even Dan, I was like, come down and watch it in the local pub in Holloway. Come and watch it. And he was like, nah, Dan, they ain't going to do it. He rang me up with 20 minutes to go. I was like, well, you better get down. He said, I'm on my way, bro. I'm on my way.
Listen, when we beat Burnley on the Monday, from then I knew I was going to be there at Emirates. Regardless.
The only thing I think that could top that would be, if obviously, because that was a 22-year wait, is obviously why it was so good. If we won the league this year, again, it would be first time retaining it, so it'd still be massive. But I think the only thing that could top it is if we won the Champions League, you know, for the first time in our history. So did you think that they'll go into it with you know, which one is there going to be one where they look and say we've won the Premier League, we kind of put more eggs in the Champions League basket, or is it just the Premier League is still number one?
But on that same sort of question, do you feel that Arteta is going to let the shackles off a bit this season, Dan? Because I know that through the seasons he's been burnt. So I think last season he went quite defensive, pragmatic. Do you think it's going to be more free flowing this season? Do you think he's going to let the shackles off this season? He's going to be a bit more relaxed now that he's won that Prem?
I think naturally that will happen. I think naturally that will happen with the players because they're champions, and with Arteta and us fans that are at the games that get super nervous, super tense. The fans feel, you know, Arteta, the first thing he spoke about when he came to the club was energy. He wanted to connect with the fans again. Go and watch his first press conference, and that's what he spoke about. It's something Unai Emery couldn't quite do, and Wenger lost towards the end. And that's what Arteta has done. And he speaks about, you know, there being an energy. And I feel like if we get the once we've got this whole weight that was hanging over our shoulders, every Arsenal fan, we couldn't. You couldn't even sleep at night with the pressure on these Premier League games.
It was
It was just
dark, Dan. It was
the
dark.
feeling
I was
sick
going down
before
to the
going into the
Emirates.
game.
I'm
That
walking
game
down to the
West Ham
Emirates
away,
watching games, and I'm not feeling good. Yeah, I'm
exactly.
feeling good, like it's gonna be a little vibe, have a couple drinks, whatever. But I'm just going down there with negativity. I'll be honest, just not believing.
Like
That's
this
how I
year,
was
Even when
going
we were
down
winning,
there.
and
even
this
when we was
year,
Bro,
winning.
even when we was winning, I was saying to myself, this is gonna amount to nothing. Let me
Uh,
just see when we win. Like I say to Dan, I'm gonna enjoy the wins. That's what I always
mm,
said. Make sure you enjoy every single win because come the end of the season, it's gonna be fruitless again. That was my
but
line that I was saying.
this is the thing
Yeah.
as well. This is the thing with me. Me and Ads were talking about. It was a very positive, way more positive than me, mate. If you meet my mate Ads, right? But we enjoyed every big win, every win, even the little wins. We enjoyed it. We went out. We were like, we're gonna win it. We're winning it. We're winning it. We really did believe we were winning it. And all throughout the whole season, but obviously there was lows when we lost or dropped points. But we won the most games we won in our history, and I enjoyed every moment of it. And obviously the ecstasy came at the end when we actually won it. But there's some fans that wouldn't have enjoyed any of it until that last day when we won it. So they had one day of, and maybe a week after that. Whereas I had the whole season because I could see the Premier League coming. But
Well,
listen,
you was in a bit of a dark place after that Wolves game, Dan. I'll be honest. You was
yeah, look, there were
cracking up.
times, but
You was
I could
cracking up.
get my interview on from AFTV, Dan, when we lost to Man City. And in that I said that I still thought we were going to win the Premier League, and we went on one. You were saying to me, "What makes you think we can win our last 5 games?" And I was like, "Well, because we can, because of the teams we're up against." I said the City would drop points to Everton, and they did. I actually thought they'd beat Bournemouth, but they obviously didn't, and the rest is history. We're champions. But yeah, man, it's going to be I think it's going to be an exciting season. Next season. And in answer to your question, yes, I do. I do think also because Gyökeres will have been there for a year. Eze will have been there for a year. Now, look, this what was really telling for me was in the Champions League final. We made 7 signings. How many of them started the Champions League final in our biggest game? Mosquera
Crazy.
started. Mosquera started. Was there one more?
Who else started? Zubimendi couldn't start.
He didn't start.
No surprise there.
Gyökeres didn't start. Eze didn't start. Norgard didn't start.
It
So I
was
think
Odegaard,
only
Xhaka, Havertz. Who started on the left?
Trossard.
Trossard.
Hincapie started, right?
I think
Yeah.
so.
yeah, he did.
Hincapie
Yeah.
started. So Hincapie.
You know, I can't remember much about that day,
Yeah,
Dan.
look,
It was a dark
no,
day for me.
yeah. Hincapie started, right? It was a new signing. And I think that's just because of, I think with him and Calafiori, it depends who we're up against. And he weren't fully fit. But anyway, Mosquera only started because Timber was injured. So we spent 300 million and only one of them really, really started because Arteta wanted to play him, and that's Hincapie. Mosquera started because Timber was injured. So you look at it, we signed all those players and not one of them started in our most important game of the season. But they would all have Zubimendi was good for me for the first half of the season, not so good for the second
He
half
was
of the season.
meaty. He was
I think
decent.
he'll be probably a squad player next year. But I think it does take it. Look, you think Gyökeres, for example, 20 goals in his first season. I'm betting on him to go on better that next season now.
Listen, see, if Havertz is fit, start of the season, Gyökeres is in trouble. We know this. We know this, Dan. Champions League final. We know this. Yeah?
But is Havertz going to be fit? That's the question.
He ain't got no injuries right now. He played for Germany. He's fit. He's fit. Gyökeres is in trouble, and that might be part of the reason why maybe.
I think will he stay fit though? I think he's had his injury problems.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
probably agree. I think Gyökeres next season he will
First game of the
what he
season,
did.
Coventry. Who's starting? Gyökeres or Havertz? Right
think
now, you can't tell me for sure. You lot can't tell me for sure.
I go Gyökeres.
That's the problem.
I'm pretty sure Gyökeres will start that game. I think that's the perfect game for him. He scores
He's up against his old team, innit?
His old team, I think. Yeah, I mean, what a way to kick off the Premier League.
At home,
Premier League
Friday.
winners at home on a Friday night against the Championship winners. Yeah. Arteta against Fatty Frank. He beat him in an FA Cup final, and we should really slaughter them. What about the domestic cups next season? Of course, we had an embarrassing exit to Southampton, which I think a lot of us lost our minds over. That was a dark day for me.
I've turned into after we've won the Premier League. I'm turning into a snob. I don't care about them. That's it. I don't care about them.
I want everything. I'm greedy.
I just want the Champions League and Prem again. That's I
Nah, I hear
couldn't
it, I
care
hear it.
less about the FA Cup and It's not going to do nothing for me if we win it. I'll be honest with you.
No, you can't say it wouldn't do nothing. You can't
It would
just
do
dismiss
nothing for me if we didn't win nothing and we won the FA Cup. I wouldn't be happy. I
No,
wouldn't
of
be
course,
happy.
we're Premier League champions now. You want to win the league. You want to
I wouldn't
retain
be
the
happy.
league. But if you look in 2004, right, we had our arguably our best season ever. We had Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira, Dennis Bergkamp. I don't have to name all the players. We know the team, right? Yeah. And we were obviously favourites to win the league the year after. And Chelsea come along with Mourinho and they won the next two. And we didn't win another league for 22 years. So as much as we're favourites, you know, football can be funny sometimes. The bookies have us as favourites. I think us Arsenal fans, most normal level-headed people will expect Arsenal to win the league. But most people thought Liverpool were going to win the league last season, right? After winning it. So obviously it's not a foregone conclusion. We're still going to have to be at our best. We're still going to probably have to improve. But ultimately, I can't really see anyone stopping us next year. Who do you think will be our? I'll go to Nev. Who do you think will be our main challenger next season for the Premier League title?
I mean, yeah, we had a chat about this earlier. So I think it will be, for me, it's probably Liverpool. I think Areola is a good manager. They've obviously spent a lot of money the previous season, had quite a few injuries last season. As long as they can keep those players fit, they should be, firing. Ekitike had a good, and he's going to be out for a period, but, he had a good start. Isaac, we haven't seen the best of him, but for me, it would be Liverpool.
Liverpool.
What about you, Jez?
Really,
who do you think will be our? Jez, who do you think will be our main challengers?
No, I'd agree with Nev on that. I think Liverpool are going to be a bit of a problem. They're recruiting well, but don't write Man United out of the equation.
Yeah, I don't see it with Liverpool. Never.
I don't see it with United.
I don't see it with Liverpool. After Salah's gone, I don't know, mate. I can't see it with Liverpool. I'll be honest with you.
Well, he was already at odds with the manager last season, right? But they've spent quite a lot of money.
Who's going to do it for Liverpool next season? Don't say Isaac.
If
Take him out of the equation.
If they keep all their players fit, the squad that they have,
who's going to do it? Who's going to do it?
Why not Isaac?
Okay, Isaac. Okay, I give Isaac credit.
When
Who else?
Ekitike is back,
Ekitike the striker. What about Wirtz? Wirtz is dusty.
He had a decent. Again, he had a good World Cup, but again, the same how people say about Gyökeres and him not hitting form and stuff. I think he was a bit slow, but he grew into the season a little bit, right? So I think
I can't see it, man.
And I think the manager makes a difference. Areola, I think Man City is the one people are probably going to draw most attention to. I don't rate what's the manager Marqueza as I don't really rate what he did at Chelsea, and I don't think they are already there yet. They're going to go on.
We've seen it with managers like Thomas Frank, and these managers that were doing very well with teams. They can go into another team and not do so well. So I don't think we can just say, yeah, Irola's just going to do a great job there. I'm sleeping on Liverpool.
I think it's a combination. Good manager, decent, a better than average squad. They got all the foundations there. Yes. Virgil
Van
probably doesn't
Dijk,
look like
1
he's
year
going.
older.
Yeah, but he's still a good defender, right? If he was free, if he was available now with Saliba, I'd take him. I'd put him in our squad. They can't sleep on Van Dijk. So, yes, Salah is out, but is Salah the Salah we've seen and we've known? Last season, he wasn't hitting the same heights as he has done in the past. So, is he as big of a loss for Liverpool now as he would have been?
Is he gone? Is it Saudi? He's gone.
I think. Has it confirmed where he's gone?
I don't know.
I don't think nothing's been confirmed as yet, but
yeah.
He's going to go over to get 1 million a week or something crazy. You know what he's going to be getting? Madness.
Hey, Real Schooner, I've got to ask you this question. You're talking about the FA Cup, dismissing it.
Yeah, I was waiting for this.
The oldest football trophy in the world. Arsenal have won it the most amount of times. There's been many world great players who've always said, Pelé, for example, stated he won just about everything you could win in football. And he said, no, I never won the FA Cup. So how can you dismiss the FA Cup?
Personally, Jez, I know it's a great cup and all of that, but I just don't feel like it doesn't do much for me no more, Jez, because we've won it so many times. And even when Wenger won it, that wasn't enough to save Wenger. Yeah, when he won the FA Cup against Seoul, that wasn't enough to save him. And then when we were talking about Arteta, that wasn't enough for me either. When we were talking about Arteta, he's won an FA Cup. It's just we're Premier League champions now. I'm not saying that I just want to just dismiss it. I wouldn't be happy if we won it, but if we didn't win nothing and we won the FA Cup, it's not going to really do great things for me. I'll be
Well, the
honest.
last time we won the league in 2004, a year later, what did we win?
FA Cup.
FA Cup. Patrick Vieira, right? The penalty against.
The thing is, Dan, right? Silverware is silverware,
Mm.
right? And winning trophies is what we're about. So I know for a fact, right? If Arsenal was to win nothing next season apart from the FA Cup, you'd celebrate it.
I was about to say, if we win the cup, we're
100%.
gonna have a parade. We're gonna have a parade again next season, right?
Not for an FA Cup. Come on.
Bro, we've done that in the past. Come on.
You lot think the FA Cup's worth a parade?
Yeah, of course it is.
Well, the last time we won it, Dan, there was a parade and there was 500,000 people there. It wasn't quite a million.
Parade.
No, I think you have to keep winning. I think Jez is right. You have to keep winning. If for whatever reason, it went wrong in the league, but you pick up an FA Cup or even a Carabao Cup and you keep that thing of winning, that we've still won another trophy.
See if we don't win it and we win the FA Cup, I'm going to be at the parade. Shameless.
You look at teams that have their little patches,
shameless settings.
Like Liverpool. Liverpool haven't retained the Premier League. They've won it twice. The last time they won it, I'm not sure what they won the year after, but I think they won a cup or something, or maybe even the Champions League. But I think you need to keep winning now. So, like I said, the Premier League's not a guarantee, nor is the Champions League. So obviously,
if we won an FA Cup next season, that would suffice. Is that what you're saying?
If we only won the FA Cup, obviously you'd go again. Now, listen, as much as Jez is rating the FA Cup, I asked you the question: if we only did won the FA Cup and we lost the league title, but say by 5 points, got to the semi-finals, went out to Real Madrid in the Champions League, but won an FA Cup, would you be screaming for Arteta out, having won the Premier League and FA Cup back to back?
Me?
What?
Yeah, Jez, would you want Arteta out if next year he only won the FA Cup?
No.
That's fair. That's fair then.
No, let's put this into context here, right? I don't like Arteta's style of football. Okay,
Did you like George Graham's?
Not particularly.
Okay.
But it's not personal. Okay, but I've got a lot more respect for George Graham as a footballer than I have for Arteta. Okay, because I watched George Graham and I watched Arteta, and personally for me, George Graham was the better man. But that's another story. But at the end of the day, if he wins, any manager, let's put it right, any manager that wins a trophy deserves respect. You can't deny that. Come on.
Yeah.
So what about if Arteta didn't win nothing next season? Because for me, I said even if Arteta don't win nothing next season, the man that's brought me the Premier League after 22 years, you get a pass for one season. Are you of that agreement as well, Jez? And Nev, or if he won nothing next season, would you be on his neck again?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've never been on his neck, but I think, I don't like to talk too much about ownership structures, but the Kroenke ownership group, if you look at the kind of profile of managers they've had at their different franchises, they're not really known. They're known for doing what they've done with Arsenal with their manager structure, get young, intelligent managers in, and they back them. They're not really known for kind of chopping and changing. So I don't think we would see that. If we went 2-3 years without winning a trophy, the fan base might call for it, but we've seen that in the past with the Kroenkes. Like a long time ago, it was Kroenke out, and they've been able to kind of shift the dynamic and almost win the fans over. To be on the bloody bus with the players, right, celebrating the Premier League. So, I wouldn't be calling for him, and I don't think we would see a change for a few years if he were to go trophyless.
Nev, let's get it right. It's nothing to do with the Kroenkes. Kroenkes, right, Josh Kroenke runs the club, right? He's the man, right? He's the one that, along with the board directors, have the access to releasing money. The Kroenkes don't put money in because Arsenal was a self-sustaining model. You can go and check that out. Go to companieshouse.gov.uk and you can see how Arsenal operate, right? It's free, don't cost you no money, and you can go and look at all the facts and figures. At the end of the day, Arsenal Football Club, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, God knows who else, Man City, right, demand success. The manager, Arteta, won the Premier League, and fantastic, brilliant. We all loved it. At the parade, brilliant, fantastic. It's no different to winning the FA. Well, what I mean is winning trophies is basically winning silverware. So you win the Premier League, or you win the FA Cup, or you win a League Cup. There's always a parade. I've been to all of them in my life since 1971. And there's always a big party. Now, exceptionally, this year, it was exceptional in the amount of people there around Islington. It was incredible. It was fantastic.
Crazy.
Biggest parade I've ever seen in my life, ever. I was in Avenel Road, right? And I went up to near Blackstock, and I've never seen anything like it in my life. Yeah.
It was special. It really was special.
Well, as a little kid, where my parents' house was in Avenel Road was right opposite the entrance to the East Stand. And that's where the bus pulled up and the players walked on. And it was
Crazy.
unbelievable. So
unprecedented.
It was.
I'm on fire.
But
Man said, I'm on fire and delivered the Premier League title. Wow.
We are in football as a top flight club, right? The best of the best to win trophies. So whether it's the Premier League, whether it's the FA Cup, whether it's the League Cup, yeah, we always still celebrate it. It's one up to the opposition. I'll leave it.
Could we go on now? And I mean, we're on 14 Premier League titles. We've got the most FA Cups, 14. Liverpool and United are both on 20, right?
20.
You know, could we cut that back? Could we cut that down now and go and have a period where, you know, obviously Man City won 4 in a row, Man United have won 3 in a row, Chelsea have done 2 before. We've never managed to do 2. Could we go and win 3, 4 Premier Leagues, or maybe not in a row, but in the next, say, 7 years, win 4 Premier League titles? Imagine we won 4 in the next 7, and Liverpool and United didn't. Suddenly we're on 18. You know, is there a chance here for Arsenal to have the best era ever? Because we had a great era under Graham. We had a great era under Arsene Wenger. Could this be better? Could this Arteta era be the best era in the club's history? I think everything is set up for it to be. I think right now there's no team as good as us. We're the best team in England. We're moving like a big club. The players, you look at the age of the players coming through. You know, the manager has obviously been here for a long time now. The ownership, I'd seem to be really behind, connected with the fans now. We want trophies. We want these players. And it just seems like, you know, we're in such a good position to perhaps go and dominate now. Could this be, go to you negative, Dan, could this be the best era? Is it possible this could be the best era in Arsenal's history? The Arteta era could be what you look back and go, bloody hell, that's the best. Could we go and win 2 Champions Leagues in the next 5 years? 3 out of the next 5 Premier Leagues, a Carabao Cup or FA Cup? Could we win, like, you know, 10 trophies in the next 5 to 6 years? Something truly special, a true dynasty. You know, you look at Liverpool under Klopp, they won every trophy going. They didn't win any back-to-back, but Klopp won the Champions League, he won the Premier League, he won the FA Cup, and he won the Carabao Cup. You know, Arteta just needs a Champions League and a Carabao Cup, and he's completed the set, right? But could this be the best era in Arsenal's history? Because there's a lot for us to do.
If we take advantage of this moment right now, make a few key signings, then 100% it could be. Because if I'm looking at the other teams, I'm looking at Chelsea, new manager in transition. Man United, new manager on the come up, still transition. Man City, Pep's gone. This is a new era, transition once again. Liverpool, Irola. There is no stability of all these teams that we're coming up against. Tottenham, if you want to.
As well,
Yeah?
Arteta, the only current manager that's won the Premier League. So
Do you understand? He's got the experience now. As long as it took him 7 years or whatever it is, as long as it took him, he's got the experience. He's made the mistakes. Yeah? He's been through that pain. He's an experienced Premier League champion. if we're being
That's
honest with Arteta, and these players are as well. So with our defence, like you said, defence win you titles. There's not a better defence in the Premier League, arguably in the world, if you're asking me. Saliba, Gabriel, we got Hincapié. There's strength and depth in that defence. Timber coming back, Declan Rice in front of that. Oh, this is a great opportunity to what you and Marty was talking about. I can see what was Marty saying. I can see this being a dynasty. This is going to be a dynasty. He was saying, yeah,
Yeah.
It could possibly be a dynasty that we're looking at, but I still feel like we need to make a few key signings because if we're being honest about last season, it was in the balance at one point. Man City could have won the Premier League title if they would have had their shit together. Yeah. We gave them multiple opportunities. Wolves, there was other games, Bournemouth, when we lost to Bournemouth. There was too many chances that Man City had where they could have overtaken us if they would have just won all their games. They couldn't do that. So we can't let that happen again. We've got to make a few signings, I would say, and just get it over the line. The football needs to be better, a lot better. Not so negative. Needs to be a lot more fluid going forward. And like Nev was saying, we can't be dealing with this sentimental stuff no more. If players are not good enough, see you later. It's time to upgrade. We can't be doing this sentimental stuff no more. Saka, yeah? Last season you was poor. The season before that you wasn't all that. We're not here to mess around, star boy. Yeah, if you're not good enough, you can go, my friend. That's what we need to be dealing with. Martinelli, see you later. Gyökeres, you're stinking out the gaff next season, see you later. Yeah, that's what we need to be on now. Ruthless. And go on and build this dynasty.
It's so easily just to say that, but when a player's on a contract for big money and he's got 4 years left on his contract
every year, Dan.
Sorry,
Alex Ferguson. Yeah, Alex Ferguson did it every year.
Yeah, he refreshed and rebranded.
The players have got power now, not the managers. It's completely changed in football. The players sign a 5-year deal on big money; they don't have to leave. But back in the day,
what we got to look at, Dan.
Players had more pride back in the day where they would leave. You know, like Nicky Butt was at Man United and he wanted, you know, he could have stayed on money at United. He left because he wanted to play and went Newcastle. Philip Neville, he left Man United. He wasn't playing.
It can be done, though, Dan. It can be done.
Yeah, Jez is right because what we need to do.
All right. Hold on. Tell me how do you get rid of Gabriel Jesus and Martinelli? Right, Martinelli's got 3 years or whatever.
All right, Dan. Let me tell you.
Hold on.
I'll tell you what you do.
Let me finish. He's on 200 grand a week. And Jesus is on 250. How do you tell them, right, you've got to go now? When they'll just say, well, I'm not.
You don't. You do a Pep. You do a Pep and you bench them. That's what you do. Pep's been doing it for years. Yeah, major players sitting on the bench on big wages.
Jesus has been a bench player for how long?
No, when he's fit, he plays. When he's fit, he plays. He's just been injured.
Listen. How did Pep win 5 out of 6 titles, Dan? There was multiple players, big name players on big wages that he just said, you're sitting on the bench, my friend. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care how much. That's what we're going to do.
It doesn't mean they're going to go, Dan. Name me who are these big players on big
don't
money.
make them sit on the bench.
They had to pay Grealish's wages and Everton paid like a tiny % of it.
That's what we do then. We move like a big club like Man City.
Aubameyang are like a threat. He got them out the door on big money.
we paid off. We paid Aubameyang. Lacazette's contract was coming. Aubameyang had like a year left, and we paid him off after his contract.
With his contract up, so it is possible to say. Look,
yeah, but with Jesus, rather than just because he's still all right to have in the squad, you'd rather him be there. Well, what would be the point in ripping his contract up and him just not being in the club?
250 grand a week.
Anyway.
250 grand a week. They're going to give you half of your wages for 6 months and see you later, Jesus. You're going to get a signing on fee here. Goodbye, Jesus.
We don't know. We don't know that way. It's just not that easy to go and get rid of players. I'm sure if Arsenal could, they would.
Easy.
If a player doesn't want to leave, there's not really much you could do.
How did we get rid of Ozil? How did we get rid of Aubameyang, as Jez said? How did we get rid of those so easily?
It wasn't easy. It was far from easy. That was dragging on for how long? That dragged
and see you later, my friend.
With proper management, it can be done. Because
explain to me how it happens.
Sorry?
Explain to me how it happens. How do you get rid of Jesus with 1 year left and he's on 250? No one else is willing him to pay that money. He's got a contract. He doesn't have to go. Doesn't matter if you put him in the under 15s. He doesn't have to leave.
Well, at the end of the day, if Bert has got any balls about him, he'll be searching out to get him out of the club and say, right, you've got this option. You go out the club, or we just cancel your contract. See you later. Bye bye.
And they're not allowed to just cancel his contract. It's just,
No, but from a player point of view as well, if you know you're in your last year of your deal, you're going to be wanting to play football regular. You're not going to just want to sit on the bench for a year and then hope.
A lot of players do. A lot of players will just sit there, man.
I hear you, but so Jesus, like, people like him, he's got aspirations to get back in the Brazil national team. He's not going to want to just be kicking. Of course he does. If he wasn't injured this year, you would have been. If Martinelli can get in there, come on.
You are entitled as an employer, right, which Arsenal Football Club are, to sack someone. You are allowed to actually say, I'm sacking you, you cancel your contract is cancelled, away you go. And we'll pay you out, bye-bye. You are allowed to do that.
I don't think they get away with doing that. There has to
you
be
are allowed to do that. I've done it when I ran my business. I sacked people.
Yeah, I think it's totally different.
You know what it is? It's because we obviously within Jesus' contract, I'm sure there's some clauses and stuff like that. We don't know, innit?
There is not. It's employment law. You are allowed to sack people for whatever reason deemed that is correct to say.
Yeah, but there would be a big court case and stuff because they
tribunal.
There'll
be a tribunal unfair dismissal.
Plus, you don't want to be known as the club. You're not going to be known as a club that doesn't honour contracts, right? That would be suicide, right? Yeah, but listen, with all due respect, it's not a massive club like Arsenal, right? You know, so
different.
They will be trying tooth and nail to try and get some of these players out. Whether they can do it.
Someone's saying there that Vini Junior's on 600k a week. He's not on 600k a week.
I think he's like 400
Tibbs,
euros.
you get your facts straight, my brother. Big up for the comment, though.
Do you run a business?
Yes.
Right, so you know employment law.
Yeah, to a certain extent, yeah. I wouldn't sack someone for no reason, though.
But you're missing the point completely here.
Go on.
If you have a contract with somebody and you deem it that it's not worth the fact that they're not performing, right, you are allowed to sack them.
I think it's how do you quantify that a football player isn't performing?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not.
I was going to say, putting his effort in, which I would imagine Jesus is. It's very, very hard to get rid of these players.
It's not. I promise you. That is what happened to Van Persie, because Wenger turned around and said, "We don't want you." Right? We don't want you.
He wanted to leave. He wanted to go.
No, he wanted more money, and Wenger.
But also he wanted to go to Man United. So, and we got someone that was willing to pay him more and give us 30 million. So that's a terrible example that you've used, Jez. Really and truly, the only examples are obviously Ozil, where in the end we ripped up 6 months of his contract and made a deal with him. Now maybe that's something they could do with Jesus and say, look, you need to go and play. Like Dan said, we pay you 125 a week up for 6 months. And take it as a loss. And
if Jesus has got anything about him within himself as a man, he should be saying to himself, "This club has been paying me all this money, and I've been injured for most of my bloody contract. Yeah, they've done enough for me. Let me be a man and walk away from this now. Yeah, and stop
players
stealing
like him,
money."
If he was available for free, he's probably gonna get a contract somewhere else, right?
He's a thief, bro. He's been nicking a living.
Big up Moses, man. He's been following us. I'm following you live and direct from Sierra Leone. Look at that, man. Yeah, that just gives me a good feeling when you know you got someone from Sierra Leone all the way.
Big up Moses Masima, my brother.
Yeah.
But he says, "Trust me, Arsenal." God, you know.
No. I was gonna say Sierra Leone is. I think they say "howdy, buddy." That means how you doing or something like that. So yeah, we hope you're doing good, bro.
But yeah, he says, "Trust me, Arsenal summer transfers frustrating. They're not acting like champions, or they're not ready to defend the EPL." I don't understand. I think I don't understand how anyone can think that, because for one, there was a little thing called the World Cup that was going on, right? And we're exploring Vinicius Junior. We're going in for Bruno Ramirez, who's one of the best midfielders in the league. I'm not sure what makes you think that. I think everyone needs to stay calm. This time last year, I remember we'd only signed, I think, Norgard. Everyone was losing their minds. We then go on to spend 300 million and sign the likes of Eze and Gyökeres. So I think you need to have a little bit more patience
Yeah,
with that
Andre.
one.
I've got a little bit of trust in Andre Bad Boy Berta, man. Seriously, I reckon he's cooking up something behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just let me come to this one from Caps because he makes a great point here. William left with no pay package, and that is because William was a man that was purely about football. And I give William his credit. He wasn't great in an Arsenal shirt, but he said, "Rip up my
So
contract. If I'm not
Jesus,
playing,
so Jesus is
he
not
left."
about football.
Well, he's Jesus obviously has other ideas. He thinks he can get back in the team, and he's dreaming, really, isn't he? But
We also don't know what Arteta's telling him. So Arteta might be telling him
exactly,
that.
If
Like,
this
yeah, he
if
could be
Arsenal
telling him.
Football Club, Berta, Arteta, and the Kroenkes have got anything about them, Jesus should be gone. I don't think it's going to be easy on 250. I think it's more than 250. I'll be honest with you. I think it's 265. I was hearing.
it's
Yeah,
265, isn't it?
it's 265. That's going to be difficult. However you want to do it, it's going to be difficult because that's a lot of fucking money.
Big up TM, man. Thank you. Before we wrap up, guys, I just want to throw one name out there to you for the left side. Marcus Rashford. Jez,
All
if
day
we
long.
were linked with Marcus Rashford, would you have him?
No,
Do you
I'll
want to
take
explain
Rashford
why?
all day long.
not the levels, mate. Too inconsistent. Nah, not interested. Thank you.
Nev?
I would take him, but he couldn't be the only one we get on the left-hand side. We need someone else as well.
Dan, you seem very keen.
Very
Marcus
keen on Rashford. Yeah, I think there's still a player in there. Like Nev said, he's inconsistent, but I feel like your guy, Mikel Arteta, can unlock him. Yeah? And he's terrorised us for
I
a
said
good
that
few games
about
at the
Havertz.
Emirates.
What a prick, right? I said that when we got Havertz. There's a player in there somewhere. And what a prick I was for that.
We were all cheering when he come back from injury last season.
Champions League final, scored another goal.
Exactly. What do you want from him?
That's the league though against Burnley as well, a very important goal, and he also scored
We
the
didn't win it,
Champions
did we?
League final.
He
No,
did it for Chelsea, but we didn't win it, did we?
No, we didn't win it. He put us in a great chance to win it, but he did score a goal against Burnley the night before we won the league.
But you know what's funny to me is that on the Rashford thing, the fact that Barcelona have gone and spent 80 million on Gordon when they've got Rashford here right in their face.
But what is
30 million.
I think again, I think what it is in the modern game, Rashford is probably a better footballer, better technique than Gordon, but Gordon can run more and can give more for the team offensively and defensively. He can press more, he can win the ball back more, and he's decent at attacking. So, I mean, for Rashford,
I'll take Rashford on loan, bro.
I was just about to say that. I'll take him on loan.
I'll take him on loan
with an option
long.
and then see how he
Is
performs.
Rashford better than Martinelli? Yes, he is. Is he better than this new brother? I don't know much about him, but I would like to think he's better than this. How do you say the name, Nev?
Jolis.
Jolis. I think he's better than him as well, so I'll take him on loan.
Fair dues.
But yeah, man, big up everyone in the chat. Thank you for watching today. It's been a good stream. 54 in there right now. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. We're back. We're back in full effect. Every Monday, 8:30, 9 o'clock between that time. And yeah, there's gonna be some other shows coming up. And yeah, it's been a good stream, man. Jez, obviously,
guys,
every time.
We need 6 more likes to get to 50. So please
smash the like button.
Smash 6 more likes, get us to 50. Caps has just said Stones. It looks like he's going to Inter Milan. Now, with Stones, just quickly, if he wasn't a Man City legend, I remember the goal he scored against us in that 2-2 game and all of that, he'd be an ideal guy to have while Saliba gets fit. But I don't want no Man City, Chelsea ex-players, no more. Thank you very much. Looks like he's going to Inter Milan anyway. Good luck to him. But just before we do end the stream, guys, Saliba, obviously Konza, who I met. Actually, a funny story quickly. I went to Arsenal v Aston Villa when we lost last year. We lost 2-1 in the last minute. And I stayed out in Birmingham till about 10 o'clock at night, went out having drinking and whatnot. And then came back. And as I come back, I stopped off in a little boozer near mine and went in there. And Konza was in there. And I said, I was in Aston Villa Stadium earlier. And, and I said to him, you beat us, like, right? And we had a little chat, and then he said, I said, do you think we win the league? And he said he thinks Arsenal win the league. He said we're the best team, and I've got a picture of him as well, with him as well. And if he becomes an Arsenal player, then that'd be a good picture to have, and it'll be, a good moment just on Konza. Obviously, if he comes to Arsenal, once Saliba and Gabriel are both fit, or it's Saliba in this case, he wouldn't be starting, but he can play right back, he can play centre back. He's solid enough. I don't think he's outstanding. I think he's a 7 out of 10 every week sort of defender. I think he'd be a decent addition. Just before we wrap up, because Saliba obviously doesn't look like he's going to have surgery, but it looks like he will be out for at least 3 months. Would you take Konza? Go to you, Dan, first.
I don't know. I think we can spend the money better elsewhere. What's wrong with Mascara? What's wrong with Hincapié? What's wrong with all these guys, the 25 defenders that we've got in the team already? How much flipping defenders have we got? Why would we be buying another one because Saliba's injured? We've got enough backup. How much backup do you want? There's about 6 players that can play centre back at Arsenal. Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, Calafiori. What are we doing there?
I hear you, Dan. So it's a no from you. Nev, how would you feel about it?
It depends on the numbers, but I mean, I'd take Konza, yeah. Extra depth. Clearly, to what you said, Realistan, clearly Arteta doesn't trust those players, otherwise we wouldn't be looking. I thought Mascara would have been the one that would come in and cover, but he did a good job when we needed him last season. A bit versatile, played out right back as well, but obviously we're looking for a centre-back, and they obviously don't trust the players.
Jez?
Someone said no card.
Not for you?
No, we've got enough cover there, mate.
Yeah, and Saliba's going to come back for what? What's he going to be doing then? Sitting on the bench on what? 170 a week? We've made these mistakes already. Enough's enough.
I think Saliba will be out longer than 3 months, man.
Yeah, I don't think we see him till next year.
I don't think you're going to see him before January next year.
But is he not having the surgery no more? I heard he's not having the surgery no more. He's just resting.
Apparently not. So, the man's got to be out. He's got a fractured spine. So that's a major issue. Chatting to a friend of mine who's actually a doctor. He's actually I can't remember his title now, but he's very, very established in surgery, in bone surgery. And he said, that sort of injury has to be protected, because at the end of the day, if it gets worse, it can damage your spinal column. And then you're fucked. That's you. Done. See you later. You know what I mean? Wheelchair time.
You look at France. They had, I think they'd only conceded 1 goal. Saliba come off injured against Spain. They conceded 2, went out. Then they conceded 6 against England. So Saliba is no doubt key. Someone earlier said in this chat that Chelsea have signed that guy from Palace to beat Saliba.
Lacroix.
Yeah, they've signed him. But again, it's not good enough. He's not going to be a centre-back that's going to win you a Premier League. But, I mean, now you say that, Jez, would you be more comfortable with Konsa and Gabriel till January, or Mosquera and Gabriel? Which one would fill you with more confidence?
I'd rather Hincapié, mate, to be honest with you.
They're both left-sided, though, him and Gabriel.
Well, he can stop in there. No question about that.
Fill him in at right centre-back, Hincapié.
Could do.
Yeah, I know. And people talk about that foot thing, but you look at a team like Liverpool, they're playing Konate and Van Dijk together. They seem to do all right.
I've got to throw this one in before you guys want to wind the show up. Why do we keep buying these scrub goalkeepers? What the fucking hell's the point, man? The guy.
Well, someone's going to be a number 2, isn't he? That's the thing. But yeah, I mean, I don't rate that keeper either.
We got a number 2.
Who?
Stepford.
Yeah, he's decent as well. He's not
Tommy
bad.
Stepford, yeah. But he's very young. But I hear you. I like him as well.
Oh, I don't get it, man. It seems to be a love affair with getting these goalkeepers in, and then we never play them. I don't know. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
it's on a free. It's on a free.
I think it's low wages as well. I think he's like 30 grand a week, 40 grand a week.
Yeah, I think it's just.
I hear that, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean. Apparently, it's because they want to put Setford out on loan.
I heard that.
Right. Okay.
But I think if he did go on loan, Stepford, that'd be better for him. Getting actual proper game time in like the League One or wherever he might go.
I get that. I understand that, but I don't know.
One thing we did touch on, I was going to say, I think for next season, there's 9 English clubs who are going to be in Europe. And I think we saw a really competitive season last season, with the likes of Sunderland, who are punching maybe above their weight, Brentford and likes. I don't know how that will impact next season. And we spoke about, with Arsenal will win it or not, or whether other teams are going to challenge. I think that could have an impact where we have those kind of second subset of teams maybe focused on Europe and not maybe focusing so much on the league, or playing Thursday, Sunday. We know how difficult that's going to be, and where you would expect Bournemouth to get results, Brentford to get results. They may not be doing that next season, and we could see a lot more competitive league at the top anyway.
Yeah, good point. Good point. 100%. I think we just need to wait until the end of the transfer window as well, just to see what players everyone's got, and then we can sort of make a full assessment of where we think everyone's going to be at, and then take it from there. But one thing I do know, first time in, I don't know how many years it's been, man. I've got Arsenal down as favourites to win the league, man. I'm quietly confident. Going to the Emirates is going to be a different experience for me. I'm going to be going down there with, listen, man, I'm going to be down there with positivity, no argument, no talking about Arteta in, Arteta out. It's going to be different energy down at that Emirates Stadium, man, and I'm looking forward to it, man. I really am looking forward to it. It's been a long time coming, man. Trust me. Champions of England. It's crazy stuff.
Yeah, like sometimes you forget, and then it's just there's a little something you don't forget, but there's something that reminds you that we won the league, and yeah, it was obviously a special year, a year that none of us will ever forget. No matter how many times we win it, I doubt we'll ever go 22 years again. So yeah, special year, man.
And I think it's going to be it's going to sink in more, I reckon, as well when the season starts.
Yeah, but listen, when we're singing champions of England, we know we are. We only got to do that once last season, and that's obviously when we went to Crystal Palace, which is one of the best days of my life, going to that game.
See that gold lion, the gold lion on the shirt. Commentators are going to be saying the champions, these are the champions. It's crazy stuff, man. This is what champions do. Come on, man. Do you understand?
Let's see how many likes we on that. Did we get to 50? We're on 49, guys. There's 68 guys watching. Give us one more like.
Let me just go through a few of these comments. Big up Steve-O. Says Arteta. Yeah, Arteta's the guy, man. Someone's asked you, Jez, do you still go to the games?
Yeah, I went to 3 away games last season. No, I lied, 4. I went to Brighton away.
Yeah, I remember you went to Brighton.
Pompey away. And I went to Southampton away. And I went to the League Cup. So I still go. I don't like the Emirates. I never have liked the Emirates. Unfortunately for me, I have a bias, having been born and bred and lived opposite Highbury and been at Highbury for all them years. It's an awkward one for me. Yeah, 2016, I gave up my season ticket for the Emirates, and yeah, it's one of them things. But I don't know.
Maybe down there this season.
Sorry?
Will you get down there this season, you reckon?
Maybe. I don't know. It's a bit of a journey for me now. It's 80 odd miles, train, underground, and all that shit. You could call me lazy if you like, but yeah, you're probably right.
I think you've given your years to Arsenal, Jez, and you just go as and when you can. I totally understand that, mate. But yeah, the Emirates. Listen, I'm missing the Emirates, man. It feels weird not being there for so long. I can't wait for that Friday night to be back there, and I'm looking forward to this season. But listen, everyone who's in the chat, please do smash the like. If you've come on towards the end, just restart it. It's been a great stream. We've spoke about so many.
Yeah, and if you're watching it on replay,
watch it on the replay. And
smash those likes up, man.
What we're going to have to do, though, is maybe get our, we think about this maybe next time, Dan, get everyone in the chat to maybe leave a comment, or just people to at YouTube to sort out this situation with our AdSense, because we've put a lot of work in, guys, and we need to get it sorted. But I want to thank every single person who's come in the chat, every single person who's dropped a comment, everyone who's been in the chat without doing a comment. Yeah, so in answer to your question, we should have super chats. We are monetized. We should have them. It's a problem we're working on appealing against with YouTube, and
that's 5 months. It's 5 months, Dan. We weren't going to make a meal, but we've lost out on some butter, Dan. I'm telling you.
Now, of course we have. We put a lot of work in. That's the main thing, that we put a lot of hours in it. Jez has helped us massively throughout our journey. Nev has more recently been helping us as well, jumping on shows. So we appreciate that. Nev, where can they find you, bro? I watch a lot of your stuff on Instagram. It's good stuff. This
He's
guy knows
non-stop, mate. Nev's work rate is second to none. Make sure you lot go check it. His name's on the screen as well. Go check him out on Instagram. I think that's his main thing. But yeah, let them know, Nev, what's going on, my brother.
Yeah, that is it, man. Unbiased good. I always give unbiased opinions. At unbiased_Gruner on TikTok and Instagram.
And of course, Jez.
As you was dragging on that vape hard, man. That was making some serious sound, man.
Jez is Arsenal, 1967. He's over there with a top channel, 10K, I think 10 or more than 10K subs. He does weekly shows with the old school lot. So make sure you tune into that as well, guys. And we'll be back live next Monday. And then from there on, we will be doing more live shows. Like I said, we've got plans to take Gooners Therapy to the next level next season. So thanks for watching. Peace out. We'll see you all soon.
Every time, man. Love. Big up.
Come on, you Gunners.
Vamos.